Hello and welcome to this very special edition of Gadgets and Gizmos show with me, Siddharth Sharma. 2014 saw a lot of new shiny and innovative gadgets, and we got you the review of almost all of them on Gadgets and Gizmos. And now, as it's time to drop the curtains on 2014 and welcome the new year, we get you the top 10 gadgets that made a buzz in 2014. But first, take a look at the lineup. On the show this week, we get you the top 10 gadgets of 2014. And that's not all. We also tell you about the top 10 gadgets that promised the moon but failed to sizzle in 2014. Okay, then that's our lineup on the show, and now it's time to get straight into all the action and tell you which were the top 10 gadgets of 2014. We saw a lot of new technology, gadgets and gizmos make their way into our lives in the year 2014. And we get you the top 10 gadgets that made it to our list on Gadgets and Gizmos. First on the list is the Apple iPad Air 2. Apple is continuing its run of putting cutting-edge technology into the smallest space possible, and the iPad Air 2 is no different. The iPad Air 2 is the thinnest iPad ever, and it's also the most powerful, containing an A8X chip, an 8-megapixel camera, and at least 16 GB storage, and all that in a 6.1mm thin frame. The Air 2 prices start at Rs 35,900. And that is why the iPad Air 2 makes it to the number 10 on our gadget list. Apple's iPad has been the king of tablets since its launch, and till date, many companies have come and gone with their tablet options, but the story remains the same. Even with the iPad Air 2, it is still the king of tablets. Next on the list is the GoPro Hero 4. GoPro as a company has done it again with the Hero 4. The Hero 4 GoPro builds on the company's existing technology with improved resolution, upgraded audio systems, and time-lapse capabilities for ultra-low-light scenes at night. The Hero 4 comes in silver and black editions at $399 and $499 and promises to make videos for adventure enthusiasts. GoPro Hero 4 gets the number 9 spot. GoPro Hero 4 is a must-have camera for any adrenaline junkie, simply because it enables you to capture moments in unimaginable angles. Anyways, moving on, next up we have a smartphone for you that made everyone go wow in 2014. iPhone 6 Plus also makes it to the list. Apple entered the phablet race, and boy, they have done justice to this one. The super-sized phone is the company's largest iPhone ever. With an alluring 5.5-inch display that makes it feel something like a portable iPad. The phone was a challenge to Samsung's larger models, and it did beat them in many areas. Along with a powerful 8-megapixel camera and a longer battery life, the phone is more a statement than an answer. The prices of the iPhone 6 Plus start at Rs 62,900. iPhone 6 Plus makes it to the number 8. Next on the top 10 gadget list is a home entertainment system that is both wireless and awesome. Take a look. The JBL Authentics L16 is a one-box system designed to cover all your entertainment needs, music, TV or films. It's a multi-talented product and comes at a whopping price tag of Rs 74,990. It's packed with generous compatibility options like AirPlay and DLNA compatibility that digs up files over your home network. It's a room filler and stays well poised at higher volumes, and that is why it makes it to the number 7 spot. Now for all the professional camera lovers, Nikon came out with a treat in 2014 in the form of D4S. And wow, what a camera this one is. Touted as the serious tool for professional photographers, the Nikon D4S is the camera to have. The camera has a single point autofocus, dynamic area autofocus, 3D tracking, auto area autofocus and group area autofocus. This full-frame DSLR has a 16.2 megapixel FX format CMOS sensor and offers 5 autofocus area modes to full HD video recording. Price of the Nikon D4S is Rs 4,19,950 and that too just for the body. Nikon D4S makes it to the number 6. Now when we talk about a LED TV at your home, or should we say OLED televisions, LG takes the cake hands down in 2014 with its curved television. Well, it's a bit obvious what is the main USP of this 55-inch beauty. Yes, you guessed it, it's the world's first curved TV and boy, it did not disappoint. LG's curved OLED TV offers a truly impressive visual experience but at a significant price tag of Rs 4,74,042. And this now comes loaded with the new Web OS TV with an intuitive launch menu that gives users access to the integrated 3D world, a web browser and the LG App Store that has on offer latest movies, television shows and games. LG OLED Curved TV takes the number 5 spot. Now we saw a lot of wearable technology make its own space in 2014. And next up is our pick out of that lot, which made it to the top 10 gadget list. If you are a fitness lover and love crunching data, then Fitbit Flex fitness tracker is the one for you. It tracks all your daily activities and it's quite accurate. With an easy-to-use app and a price tag of Rs 8,299, Fitbit Flex makes it to the cut on our top 10 list. Fitbit Smart Band takes the number 4 spot. The camera was a big talking point for almost every technology company in 2014. Any gadget that was launched, one of the main USP of that one would always be its camera. And then something amazing happened. The camera took to the skies. Smartphones, high-tech cameras and security videos are making the world eminently recordable, allowing users to monitor and revisit our every move. But nothing is pushing the video boundaries as much as camera-wielding drones. The DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus did something similar. You can get your hands on one for almost Rs 1,80,000. And yes, it is expensive, but it's known for its exceptional flight capabilities and powerful camera. And it's cheaper than the other high-end drones. It allows joyriders to gain a bird's-eye view of nearly any terrain. With a good enough range and magnificent shooting capabilities, the DJI Phantom 2 Vision Plus makes it to our list on number 3. Now next up, what we have for you is not a gadget but a game, and this game was the biggest hit of the year 2014. And no prizes for guessing this one. We are talking about the Grand Theft Auto 5.
The guns and crank in this area go through Trevor Phillips Enterprise or they ain't going.
This was the game of the year. Millions of copies sold within a couple of days. GTA 5 was the biggest game of 2014. Fans queued up to get their hands on this open world game and it did not disappoint them at all.
Your son, James, he's a good kid.
Oh my God!
Hey, let's bounce. Bounce. We're bouncing now.
GTA 5 makes it to number 2 because it's simply awesome.
That's Trevor, my best friend. That's Franklin, the son I always wanted.
Yeah, whatever.
Jesus, your therapist has a lot to answer for.
It's getting ready to go. It's getting ready to show. Somebody shout up at the mountain. We're getting ready to know. It's getting ready to...
Now, when Google launched its next update to its popular Android operating system, the Lollipop, it got mixed reactions with Android fans. But one smartphone which was much awaited and loved was the Google Nexus 6. Google Nexus 6 makes it to the #1 spot on our top 10 list. This was the most awaited smartphone of the year 2014, and it did deliver on all levels with Android fans. Nexus 6 has a pixel-rich 6-inch Quad HD display, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 quad-core 2.7 GHz processor, an f2.0 lens and 13-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, and Motorola's superb build quality, all that at a competitive price tag. This is the smartphone to drool for in 2014, and that is why it is the #1 gadget of 2014. Now, before going into the break, we told you about the top 10 gadgets of the year 2014. And now it's time to tell you about the top 10 gadgets that promised the moon but failed to sizzle in the year 2014. Nokia X Family takes the #10 spot on our top tech fails of 2014, simply because it was a very poor and laid-back attempt by Nokia to enter the Android space. The phones were cheap and non-usable for people looking for a budget smartphone experience. Next on the list is the Samsung Galaxy S5. This was the poorest attempt by Samsung for giving its flagship smartphone a facelift. At first, they did not launch the phone with a Qualcomm processor in India. The heart rate monitor never functioned and the fingerprint scanner had no usability. The only good thing about the phone was its camera. Samsung was so lazy that they did not even do much to make the design on the phone better. And that is why Samsung Galaxy S5 makes it to #9 on the top tech fails of 2014. Samsung Galaxy Note Pro takes the 8th spot, as it was supposed to be the product that brought Windows-like productivity experience to an Android tablet. Moreover, it did to a certain extent. So what happened? Firstly, it was grossly underpowered and it lagged a lot. And secondly, it was expensive. It was also a product ahead of its time because of the time of its launch, Microsoft's industry-leading Office apps were not free on Android. Now they are. Lastly, Galaxy Note Pro was quite a massive tablet, which is never a good thing. In comparison, Microsoft's Surface Pro 3 was a success because it had the power of Windows with support for legacy window apps, and it had the hardware prowess of the MacBook Air. The innovative folks at Lytro have been at it, at reinventing the way we take photos with light field technology. Its Illume camera with its CMOS sensor and 40 megaray light field resolution attempted to make the foray to professionals. The thing is, using light field technology, many professionals have to unlearn what they have known for years. Hence we see not many takers. In addition, it clearly is a first generation product, which is very expensive. So it does not make a lot of sense in its current state. Perhaps next year Lytro will return with cheaper and more polished product, but not the Illume. So the Lytro Illume takes the #7 spot. After its amazing unveil at Google I/O 2012, there has been little news about Google Glass. Glass was supposed to be a consumer product by 2014 at the latest, and there are rumors that developers are abandoning support for this project. As of now, use cases for the product have not been fleshed out properly, and it is a very expensive product to own. Now, there are reports that the Google Glass will make a return in 2015 in a more capable, cheaper avatar with Intel inside. Looking at history, we are inclined to take this information with a grain of salt. So Google Glass lands up at number 6 in our list. Created out of the remnants of the MeeGo team that left Nokia, the Jolla smartphone had only one mission: reinventing the smartphone experience and landing up at number 5 on our top tech fails list. It has a unique multitasking system in place, which is a bit complicated to learn, and has support for Android apps. Its biggest Achilles heel is perhaps its uninspiring hardware, which found few takers in India. And frankly, there are better options in the market which are cheaper and more familiar. The Blackberry Passport was supposed to be crazy, but still it ended up on the tech fail list at number 4. Whacked out project that could retrieve Canadian company's smartphone business, it just bombed. By all accounts, as for the first time, there was a QWERTY BlackBerry flagship which did not provide a rock-solid typing experience. The duality between the odd hardware keyboard, the BB10 swipe gestures and the dependence on the touchscreen just added to the steep learning curve behind the phone. For many, this alone made for an unpleasant smartphone experience. Leave for the large, unwieldy form factor of the phone, the odd shape of the screen, and the general poor quality of apps on the phone. When Intex CloudFX was launched, its billing was that it was the cheapest smartphone in India. While true, the blunt truth is also the smartphone experience it provided was not even close to being a smartphone experience in the truest sense. It was even inferior to similarly priced feature phones at performing basic tasks. And that is why Intex CloudFX makes it to the number 3 spot on our top tech fails of 2014. The idea of Android One program is novel. It attempts to have standardized set of hardware and software in place for low-cost smartphones. Software-wise, Google handles everything from the interface to the updates, and it's awesome. Unfortunately, the 3 Android One smartphones which launched in India in September had identical hardware, which was inferior to what was already available in the market. Because of Android's fragmentation, people really do not know the advantages of stock Android, so hardware matters more. And that is where the initial Android One device failed and made it to the number 2 on our countdown. In 2014, Amazon thought it was onto something. It thought it could reinvent the phone again. Coupled with a new sensor system, Amazon's Fire Phone had a 720p screen, and the entire setup was called Perspective Display. It also has powerful internals, but frankly, Amazon was not reinventing the wheel. It was a good Android phone, but straddled by the limitations of Amazon Store for apps and lack of integration with Google services, which are the secret sauce behind Android anyways, it was overhyped and it bombed. So the Amazon Fire Phone takes the number 1 spot on our top tech fails of 2014.
And with that, it's time for us to say goodbye on this edition of the Gadgets and Gizmos show. If you have any comments, queries or suggestions, tweet us at HLT Gizmos. You can also email us on htgg@aajtak.com. We'll see you same time, same place next year. Until then, keep loving technology and spend wisely. Wishing you guys a happy new year.